Number 1, Active Track. This was my most sought after feature on the drone that I could not wait to test out. Now if you don't know what this feature is, all it is the ability for the drone to lock onto a subject and follow the subject while simultaneously avoid running into objects. I'll be completely honest, I was a little nervous about putting this to the test, being that Active Track has worked so well on the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and if this drone's Active Track performed any less, I would have dropped the drone right then and there and sent it back. But that wasn't the case. I put it through the ringer many times, including having it follow me when I walk, rode my bike, and drove my rental car. I would have used my actual car, but that's currently out of commission on account of a bucket flying off the back of a truck and smoking my hood and windshield. Anyways, there are 3 Active Track options on this drone. The first one is Follow Mode, and that's simply having the drone follow you around wherever you go, whether it's you walking, running, skipping, jumping, driving an outdated car, or riding an e-bike while listening to Gordon Lightfoot. To execute Active Track, all you have to do is make sure your subject that you want to follow is in the frame. Select it with your finger, tap on Active Track, press record, and the drone will do the rest. In most of these shots you see here of me driving my car, I was going between 20 and 25 miles per hour, and there was very little wind, which allowed the drone to keep up at a consistent speed. Just know that the faster you drive, especially if there are multiple obstacles around, like trees, fences, posts, telephone poles, mailboxes, you name it, the drone will slow down, simply because the obstacle avoidance sensors have to scan the area and take in the surroundings, ensuring that the drone doesn't pull a George of the Jungle and crash into a tree.
Watch out for that tree!
You also do have the option to change up the angle at which the drone follows you. In most of these shots, the drone was following behind me, but there will be a prompt on the screen that allows you to change the position of the drone to your left, to your right, in front of you, or just a little off to the side, in front, and in back. One of the other modes is Spotlight Mode, or as I like to call it, Tripod Mode. You execute it the same way: scan, select, and press record. The only difference is the drone stays put in the same location, and all it does is rotate while you move. It's pretty straightforward. I rarely use this one on the Mini 4 Pro, but I'm glad they have it on here because it does serve a purpose for a few different things that I will be needing it for. And the final mode is Point of Interest Mode. I think I've only used this one once on the Mini 4 Pro, but the same exact thing here. Scan, select, and press record. All this is going to do is keep orbiting around the subject that you have selected until you stop. You can choose which direction you want it to orbit to, either to the left or to the right. And while it is orbiting, you can also change the following. Altitude. You can bring the drone up higher or lower to your liking. The camera angle. You can move the camera to position the subject wherever you think it's best. And finally, the distance. You can choose to bring the drone closer to the subject or farther away. And if you guys do have any questions about Active Track, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. Number 2, video quality. The Skyrover X1 will shoot up to 4K at 60 frames per second. And you know what? Instead of me babbling on for the next couple minutes about how amazing, great, and buttery smooth footage this shoots, I'm just going to let these video clips speak for themselves. They were all shot in 4K at 30 frames per second without ND filters because Skyrover hasn't made any for them just yet. And I don't believe there are any third-party ones at the time of this video being made. Now just because this drone shoots up to 4K at 60 frames per second, that doesn't mean that you have to. Especially if you're a beginner and this is your first drone, you do have the option to shoot in 1080. And in fact, here are all the different resolutions and frame rates that you can shoot in. Feel free to pause the video if you need to, otherwise I'm going to keep on going. I took this drone to a variety of different locations in Arizona over the last few weeks, and I'm going to quote the video on Skyrover's Amazon page. Quote, "From mountain peaks to city streets, there's a lens to capture the world you've never seen." I love that quote, and it definitely holds up. Whether you're flying somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, or down by the ocean, where it don't matter, as long as you're flying the Skyrover X1. See what I did there? It really is built for all environments. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced drone pilot, I've been flying mine in town, out in the desert, over the canyons, at the lake, and in a random dark parking lot where I think I captured somebody getting busted for coke. A cola. In all seriousness though, I really don't see a difference in the video quality on this drone compared to the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and I'll show you some side-by-side drone footage later on in the video. And I almost forgot this next part, and that's exactly why I take notes on every little thing. When you're shooting in 4K, you will be able to zoom in up to 3x. And when you're shooting in 1080p, you will be able to zoom in up to 4x. And if you are a beginner, just know that when you do zoom in, whether it's 1080p or 4K, you will compromise quality. I really hope that showing you these clips does give you a little bit of insight on the type of quality that the Skyrover X1 can shoot. And so far, I'm pretty impressed, but you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section. Number 3, vertical shooting. This is one of my absolute favorite features that I enjoy using, and I was ecstatic to hear that this feature was available on the Skyrover X1. Now this is geared more towards content creators that like to upload vertical video on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts because it will save you a bunch of time in the editing room without having to manually crop in. And of course, here's how you execute vertical shooting. All you have to do is tap this on-screen button right here, and voila, you are now shooting vertical video. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It goes without saying that you can also take vertical photos, and if you're someone that loves to upload content online, this is going to be your bread and butter. You also do have the option to take vertical photos in 12 megapixels or 48 megapixels. You just have to click on the menu button in the upper right, tap on camera, and select your preference. And of course, when you are done shooting vertical video or photo and you want to go back to 16:9, just give that button another tap and you're back to normal. Number 4, photos. The Skyrover X1 can take photos in both 12 megapixels and 48 megapixels, but truth be told, there's no noticeable difference when you set them side by side. The only way you can tell the difference is by zooming in. If you zoom in on a 48 megapixel photo, it tends to hold more detail, but if you zoom in on a 12 megapixel photo, it becomes more blurry and fuzzy. Fun fact / not really a fun fact, but whenever I do print off a photo that I've taken on my drone, I always make sure that it's in 48 megapixels. I almost forgot to mention this too. Whether you're taking photos or videos, you do have the option to shoot in auto or pro mode. This is located on the bottom right of the screen. All the photos and videos from the Skyrover that you're seeing in this video were shot in auto. I rarely shoot in pro mode unless it's a certain project or the occasion calls for it. Most importantly, when you are out in the wild rifling off photos, you can opt to take photos in the dimension of 4:3 or 16:9. The majority of the time I always shoot in 4:3 because that's my preference, and the only time I really shoot in 16:9 is if I'm shooting a thumbnail for a YouTube video or a customer requests those dimensions. Number 5, the noise test between the Skyrover X1 and the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Now I'll let you guys be the judge of this one, but in my opinion, I think the Skyrover is slightly less noisy. These clips were both filmed on the exact same camera, which is a Nikon Z30, and I did use a Rode shotgun mic. I kept the camera about the same distance away, but you guys let me know down in the comments which one you think was less noisy. Number 6, wind resistance. The Skyrover X1 is rated at a level 5 wind resistance, which means it can ideally withstand winds between 19 and 24 miles per hour. Now my personal thoughts on this are, if you plan on flying your drone around cliffs, trees, or multiple power lines that are in the area, please use your best judgment. And above anything else, do not listen to your idiot best friend when it's super windy out and he's saying things like, "Oh, go for it, bro, your drone can handle it, full send." There is a reason why he does not have a drone. I shot this clip here when the winds were around 14 miles per hour, and I was in a canyon too. And yes, sometimes when you're hovering, it might bounce around a little bit, especially if there is a little bit of wind. However, when you do start to fly at a consistent speed and motion, you will notice that it holds its position very well, and the footage will turn out buttery smooth. Number 7, cruise control. Just like the DJI Mini 4 Pro, the Skyrover X1 does come equipped with cruise control. In my opinion, I think it's a very underrated feature, and I use it quite frequently when I'm out shooting content. And here's how you execute it. First things first, there is no cruise control button, so we're going to have to go into button customization and assign it to the FN button on the remote. First, tap on the menu button on the upper right, tap on control, scroll down to button customization, tap on the selection for double press, simply tap cruise control, and boom, you've just assigned the button. After that, just fly at the altitude and speed that you desire, double tap FN, and boom, you're in cruise control. Quick pro tip while you're in cruise control, if you decide to ascend or rotate the camera, essentially changing the camera position, and you double tap the FN button again, it will update itself to that new motion. Here's a quick example. In this clip here, I am slowly moving the drone forward. Then, I slowly start to ascend. I double tap the FN button, and as you can see here, it's been updated to the new motion. And that's all there is to it. And of course, when you want to get yourself out of cruise control, just crash into a mountain. Just kidding. Do not do that. To end cruise control, all you have to do is tap the X on the lower left, and it will stop. I really hope nobody takes that comment seriously. Number 8, how to lock in exposure. There is 2 ways to do this. The quickest way is to press and hold down on the screen, just like so, and that will lock in your exposure. The other way is to go back into button customization and assign it to the FN button. I find this way a lot easier than pressing down and holding onto the screen, because while I'm flying, when I find that perfect exposure that I'm looking for, a quick press on the FN button and I'm good to go. No fiddling around. But you do you. Number 9, obstacle sensing. This was another one of those features that I was nervous about at first, but after getting a few chances to test out the avoidance sensors while using Active Track, I gotta say, it holds up. When I was riding my bike in town, the sensors did a great job detecting any trees, light posts, telephone poles, and utility poles. I was averaging speeds on my e-bike of around 12 miles per hour, and not only was it able to keep up, it wasn't running into anything. Now, I did take somewhat of an unconventional approach to really putting these obstacle avoidance sensors to the test, and that being said, I will just let this next part speak for itself. Now we are going to do the obstacle avoidance test, and we're going to test out the sensors on the Skyrover X1, and we're going to see how well they hold up. Now originally I was going to fly the drone directly at myself and see if it comes to a complete stop or if it veers around me. If you didn't know, there are 2 modes to that, which I will get to in just a second, but at the end of the day, that did not seem like the safest thing. So instead, I have my lovely assistant Paul back here, and he's going to do the demonstration for us. Paul, what do you think? The 2 modes for the obstacle avoidance sensor are brake and bypass. We're going to do brake first, and essentially what this should do is come to a complete stop about maybe 1 to 2 to 3 feet before it hits Paul. As you can see, that worked out pretty well. Now let's test out bypass mode. And again, I did not expect anything less. That one carefully veered around Paul without ruining his alien flesh, so that does pass the obstacle avoidance test for me. Number 10, the Fly More combo bundles. Currently on Amazon, as of this video being made, there are 2 packages. The standard bundle, which costs $758 plus tax. This one comes with 1 battery, 1 remote, and of course, the drone. The Fly More combo package will run you $898 plus tax, but with that, you get the drone, the remote, 3 batteries, extra propellers, and a carrying case. Now, if you can afford it, and your mom will let you, I would recommend getting the Fly More combo package, and here's why. With the standard bundle, you only get 1 battery. What that means is, once you get done using that 1 battery, you're going to have to throw it back on the charger and wait about an hour and a half for it to fully charge before you can fly again. With the Fly More combo package, you don't have to worry about that. Once you use up 1 battery, throw it back on the charging dock, throw another battery in the drone, and boom, you're back to flying. Now that being said, here's a few really important callouts. As stated before, each battery does take about an hour and a half to fully charge. You will get up to 32 minutes of flight time, and that can vary depending on weather, wind, and what sort of features that you're using on your drone. Most importantly, even though these batteries look similar to the DJI Mini 4 Pro batteries, they are not compatible. To be clear, the Skyrover X1 batteries will not fit in the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and the DJI Mini 4 Pro batteries will not fit in the Skyrover X1. Number 11, Quick Shots. The Skyrover X1 does come equipped with the feature called Quick Shots, and if you are new to this drone, all that Quick Shots are preset flight paths that this drone does all on its own. It is very similar to Active Track in the sense that all you have to do is point, select, press record, and the drone does the rest. Quick shots are so easy to do that even my psychotic father-in-law, who's from the South and often gets the shakes from being a former alcoholic, he can do this, no problem, but don't drink and drone. Now that being said, here are the quick shots that this drone can perform and their motions. Starting at number 1, Droney. Number 2, Rocket. Number 3, Circle. Number 4, and my favorite, Helix. And number 5, Asteroid. Number 12, Pano Mode. Now when it comes to Pano Mode, just like Active Track and Quick Shots, all you have to do is point the drone at your subject, press record, and essentially it's going to take a whole bunch of pictures, stitch them all together, and then at the very end you'll be able to view them. The first Pano Mode option is Sphere. So here is the subject that we will be using for Sphere, and I am going to speed this part up a little bit just in the interest of time, but like I said, it's going to take a bunch of photos, stitch them together like Leatherface, and then you can use the photo as if it were on a sphere, if that makes sense. This is just me playing around with it here a little bit. I rarely do use this feature, and there are a few different ways to view the sphere, as you can see here. The next Pano Mode option is 180 degree view. This one is the same process, just point and press start. It will take a bunch of photos and deliver the finished product, which will look like this. I am half tempted to print this one off because I absolutely love the way this one turned out. The last Pano Mode option is wide angle. Again, point the camera, press start, this should be pretty evident at this point, and it will give you a wide angle perspective just like this. And for comparison, here's what it looks like next to a standard 4x3 photo. Number 13, Hyperlapse. I love a good hyperlapse, especially at night, and even though this drone can shoot them, and it does a pretty good job, I'm not a huge fan of hyperlapses on the Skyrover X1 because this one does not have waypoints like the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Now, if you're a beginner, you're probably asking yourself, but Jesse, what are waypoints? Waypoints is a feature that essentially allows you to create your own flight path, so that way you can go forward, backward, up, down, or even orbit around a subject. On the Skyrover X1, you are kind of limited to static hyperlapses and only moving forward. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the hyperlapse option on the Skyrover X1, and I'll probably end up using my Mini 4 Pro if I absolutely need a hyperlapse. Number 14, Gridlines. These can be very beneficial when you're shooting, especially if you're trying to focus on a subject or apply the rule of thirds, and I'm going to show you how to turn them on. To turn them on, tap on the menu button on the upper right, tap on Camera, scroll down to Gridlines, and turn on whichever one you prefer. I always have the middle option turned on because it helps me utilize the rule of thirds when I'm shooting video. These are completely optional, you do not have to use them, but I figured it's something that you guys would probably want to know, especially if you're a beginner. Number 15, the remote. This one is pretty straightforward, and hey, take it from me, if you can play Pac-Man, you can fly this drone, and if you can't play Pac-Man, I don't know what to tell you. This remote obviously does not have the built-in screen, so you are going to have to utilize your phone or your tablet. Here is a quick run-through of the remote. So you got your joysticks here, your function button, which you can also customize as we discovered earlier. This is your pause flight / return to home button. This button powers your drone on and off. Very simple, but very important to know. This button here is the photo video button, just a quicker way of switching back and forth between photo and video mode. This button here rotates the gimbal up and down. This button here snaps a photo. And of course, you do have your flying modes options in the middle here, which are Cine, Normal, and Sport. Or a better way of looking at it is slow, moderate, and fast. Obstacle avoidance sensors will work in cine and in normal mode, but they will not work in sport mode. Do not forget that. Most importantly, the Skyrover app cannot be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. At least it can't as of this video being made. And truth be told, I don't know that it ever will. So in order to get the app, you will have to scan the QR code on the box. Give it a few minutes and then it will appear on your phone. All there is to it. Number 16, this drone only weighs 249 grams, which in turn means 1, you do not have to register it with the FAA, and 2, it does not require remote ID, as long as you are using it for recreational purposes only. Now, if you do plan on using your drone for commercial purposes, then yes, you would need to register it with the FAA, you would also need remote ID, and finally, you would also need your Part 107 certification. And I will include links down in the description below in case you are interested in getting your Part 107 certification. Moving on. Number 17, this drone has no LED light. Unlike the DJI Mini 4 Pro that does have the LED light right on the bottom, the Skyrover X1 does not have that, so you will have to purchase one separately if you do want that feature. This one right here is one that came included with a package of the DJI Mini 4 Pro that I bought off Amazon, but unfortunately I couldn't find this exact one. There are a bunch of different colors. It does blink, and then after a while if you keep pressing it, then you just get the single light modes here. And like I said, I couldn't find this one on Amazon, like this specific one, but I will link a few LED lights down in the description in case you do want to buy one. Number 18, accessories for the Skyrover X1. Try to stay with me on this one here because as of right now, there aren't any specific accessories made by Skyrover as of just yet, which means no ND filters. However, being that the Skyrover X1 remote is pretty darn identical to the DJI RC N1 remote, I took a chance on Amazon and I bought an accessories package for the DJI RC N1 remote to see if it was compatible with the Skyrover remote, and here's what happened. The lanyard attachment did actually fit. It was a little bit of a stickler trying to get it on, but hey, it fit. I would strongly recommend everyone getting a lanyard for their Skyrover X1 remote, and here's why. As of this video being made, you cannot buy a standalone remote for the Skyrover X1. Now, I do not know what the exact replacement options are for the Skyrover X1 remote, but hear me out. Let's just say you're out there, you're flying your drone, and someone scares you, you have butterfingers, or something happens and you just drop the remote, and you damage it. Chances are you're going to have to buy another entire package of the Skyrover X1 just to get the remote, and that's going to cost you a lot of freaking money. Trust me when I say the lanyard is your best insurance policy for the remote. Now here's the bad news. The tablet extended bracket holder that came with that lanyard does not fit the Skyrover X1 remote. I was a little bummed after I tried a few times and just realized that it's not compatible, but at the end of the day, it's not a complete waste because I can still use this on the DJI RC N1 remote for my DJI Mini 4K. Also, real quick, this is the package that the lanyard and the tablet holder came in, and like I said, it's not a complete waste because it did come with 2 extra cords. One is a USB-C to iOS, and the other one is a USB-C to USB-C. And aside from having these as backups, they seem pretty durable too because they have that braided design on them. So I know these are going to be tough, durable, they're going to last a long time. And like I said, when I'm out flying for videos for clients or for my YouTube channel, it's always good to have backup stuff. And I'll be sure to link this one down in the description. Here's another really important thing to know about the accessories for the Skyrover X1. So this is my DJI RC N1 remote right here, and I have taken off the joystick. Cool thing about these joysticks on the DJI RC N1 is they are compatible with the Skyrover X1 remote. So that is a huge plus. I would strongly recommend picking up a spare set of joysticks just in the event that you do lose one or you do lose both. I don't know about you, but it's really hard to navigate your drone when you don't have joysticks on there. Technically, it is possible, but it's not easy. I don't know about for you guys, but if you are a beginner or you do use your drone for like real estate or YouTube videos like I do, it is always a really, really good idea to have a backup set. That being said, I will link some additional links down in the description below for some joysticks. And on that note, if this is of any interest to anybody watching, this is the power station that I use on the road when I'm making videos to keep my drone remotes, my drone batteries, my tablet, and my cell phone charged. I do have a few smaller power banks that I use as well. These things are extremely portable and they all encompass different features, but the cool thing about them is they do have solar panels which utilizes the power of the sun to help charge them. And if you haven't noticed, in Arizona, we get a lot of sun. Now at the end of the day, you can plug all of these into the wall, let them charge for a few hours, and get multiple charges across all of your devices. And of course, I will provide links for each one of these power banks down in the description below. Number 19, Imperial Mode. Now when you get your drone, you hook up your phone to your remote and you start flying it, it is going to be defaulted to the metric system. And if you live outside of the United States, then you're pretty much ready to go. But if you want to switch it over to the Imperial system so that way you know how many feet you are in the air or how many feet you are away, here's how you do it. Begin by tapping the menu button in the upper right, tap on Control, then select Imperial. After you do that, you'll be able to see how far away and how high you are in feet. Number 20, Super AI Night Mode. This is the equivalent to night mode on the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and you know what? I'm going to let the footage speak for itself. In the few short weeks I've had this drone, I've been flying it all throughout the day, morning, afternoon, evening, sunset, you name it. The drone has a 26mm lens, a fixed aperture of f1.7, and a 1/1.3 inch sensor. And you know what? I think I'll just come out and say it. I am impressed with the AI night mode. Is it 100% perfect and does it get rid of all the noise in the video? Well, no, but then again, the night mode on the DJI Mini 4 Pro isn't perfect either. But for the majority of these shots, I could use them just as they are without doing any cleanup in post. AI night mode was one of the few features on this drone that I was extremely nervous about because if it wasn't up to my standards, I was just going to return it. Now when I'm not making YouTube videos, I do sell a lot of stock footage, and everyone loves a good sunset and those city street views. The way the lights and colors come through on the video are phenomenal. And hey, at one point I'm pretty sure I filmed somebody getting pulled over for dealing crack. Just kidding. Regardless, the police lights turned out to look pretty cool in this dark parking lot. And not too far away from here, I filmed another person getting pulled over. Sucks to be them. But hey, it gave me an opportunity to get some good night shots. Overall, this is another feature that ended up exceeding my expectations. For a drone that has the color scheme of the Transformer Bumblebee while being a complete DJI knockoff,
I hate cheap knockoffs.
This drone is quickly becoming my new favorite. I would also like to say that all of the drone clips from the DJI Mini 4 Pro and Skyrover X1 that I've been showing you throughout the video, none of them, and I repeat, none of them have been color corrected or color graded in any way. Now we're going to do a little side-by-side comparison. Both drones are similar but different in many ways. Obviously the color scheme on the Skyrover is a bit more stylish, in my humble opinion. The Skyrover does have a more bubbly design to it compared to the Mini 4 Pro that has more defined edges. In a weird way, the Mini 4 Pro is like a muscle car from the late 1960s with hard edges, and the Skyrover is like a muscle car today with the bubblier, rounder look, which I'm not a huge fan of, but you know what? It performs well, so it gets a pass. On the back of the drones, you do have the USB-C port and a slot for your micro SD card. That is the exact same. A quick look under the drones and you'll see that the Mini 4 Pro has the LED light while the Skyrover does not. Not the end of the world though, because you can always buy an LED light and attach it. Again, I will have a few options linked down in the description. Now we're going to compare the photo and video quality on the Skyrover X1 to the DJI Mini 4 Pro. For this one, I'm going to let you guys be the judges. I shot a bunch of video and photo on both drones. I tried to line them up to get the exact same angles to get a better comparison, and well, here's what I got. Do you guys think the DJI Mini 4 Pro has better photo and video quality? Or do you think the Skyrover X1 does? Or do you think they're both about the same? Let me know down in the comments. 5 things that I do not like about this drone. Number 1, there is no landing icon on the screen like there is on the DJI Mini 4 Pro. This is a super simple but very helpful feature, but maybe, just maybe, we can see that with a later software update. Right, Skyrover? Number 2, there is no waypoints on the Hyperlapse feature, which severely limits the creativity of your shots. Number 3, we already covered this one, but I'm going to go over it again. There is no LED on the bottom of the drone, but of course you can always buy an LED light off Amazon and attach it. Number 4, there is no home icon on the screen like there is on the DJI Mini 4 Pro remote. This makes it super easy to identify where you launched and where you returned to home. Number 5, the lack of accessories. As of this video being made, you cannot buy standalone remotes, batteries, and most importantly of all, ND filters. I can live without the ND filters for now, but I would really love the option to be able to buy standalone batteries for this drone without having to buy another Fly More combo package. Something to think about. Now, in my humble opinion, I think that the reason for the lack of accessories is because they wanted to test out the waters with this drone and see how well the market responds to it. If the market responds well to it, which I think it will, I think that will be the ultimate sign for Skyrover to start producing a variety of accessories for this drone. Only time will tell. Now on to a more sensitive topic, the DJI Drone Ban. My personal thoughts on the DJI Drone Ban are, I'm not going to worry about it. Here's the thing, I have no control over that. I do have 5 drones, 2 Mini 4 Pros, a Mavic Air 2, a Mini 4K, and for the time being, a Skyrover X1. If the United States does make the decision to ban DJI drones at the very end of the year, it doesn't change anything on this channel. I'm still going to continue to make drone videos. I have plenty of drones that will last for many years to come, and let's just say they go ahead and they do not ban DJI drones, well then great. Life moves on. I can't wait to see what they come out with next. But I'm not going to sit here and get all worked up about it and write a letter to Congress saying, but my name's Billy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter! In all seriousness though, if they do ban DJI drones, I can continue to use the ones that I already have, and the Skyrover X1 could very well be joining my family. Final thoughts. Is this Jessie's Drone Adventures approved, or will I be returning it? First of all, I just want to reiterate, Skyrover did not send me this. I bought this drone with my own money. Fun fact about my YouTube channel, I have never taken a sponsorship from any company, and truth be told, I really don't plan on it, unless of course it's a really impressive product. Look, there's things about this drone that I do like, and there's things about this drone that I do not like. But after testing out the features on this drone and flying it extensively over the last few weeks, in a variety of different weather conditions, doing lots of side-by-side comparisons when it comes to the physical drone itself, photo and video quality, I think I can say with great confidence that the Skyrover X1 is Jessie's Drone Adventures approved, and I cannot wait to use it in future videos. You can find the links for the Skyrover X1 down in the description below, along with all the other cameras, drones, and accessories that I use. And finally, if you do have any questions for me about the Skyrover X1, feel free to ask me down in the comments section below.